So, listen, mid-1900s, your kid growing up in New York in the lower class, and you spend your childhood seeing your parents struggling to make ends meet. They worry about making rent, they pinch pennies at every corner, and you think to yourself that there has to be something better than this, that I never want to be poor again. And then you see these local wise guys, Mafia members, hanging around your neighborhood. They wear expensive suits, drive classy cars, get all the girls, have all this money and look successful. People respect them and they come, man. Beer, basically. They're everything your parents aren't, so you start to idolize them and come to the conclusion, he's a sucker. Why would I want to go to school and join the rat race just to end up like my parents, when I can join the most powerful crime organization the world has ever seen? An organization so powerful that at the height of the golden years of the mob, the 5 main mafia families were equal to the size of the top 10 US corporations. At the time they controlled trucking, the ports, the garbage business, and a lot of the meat produce and fish markets. Much of the building trade is in their hands, the carpenters and electrical unions. They have judges on their payroll and in their pockets. So you set your mind on becoming a mafioso. The only problem is being that the most successful criminal organization in the world, their inner workings. How to join the mafia and move up the ranks are filled in secrecy. So if you want to become a successful mobster, you got to learn the economics of the mafia. You know, what is the Mafia, the Cosa Nostra as we call it here in America? Colt and Oscar is a cult. Everything that they do is about making money. Or we know criminal organization in the history of our country has ever infiltrated legitimate institutions of society the way the Mafia was able to do. The Mafia is a business, but obviously they're not like many other businesses. See, a typical business makes money by providing value to the world, by solving customers' problems. Amazon provides value through a huge selection, fast shipping, among other things. Google provides the value of offering the entire human race's collective knowledge at your fingertips. So these companies get paid money in return for the perceived value they give out to the world, which makes their owners feel free, rich, as it should. The problem is providing honest value is kind of difficult for the most part. You have to work honestly. You have to abide by these silly laws and regulations. This is where the Mafia has an advantage. Instead of making money through providing value, they make money by doing the exact opposite, through taking value. So you can think of the mob as sort of an anti-business that isn't restricted by the plebeian last legitimate businesses or helps you. Most Mafia rackets revolve around taking value by force. Take the classic protection racket. Mobsters create a problem for shop owners, then offer the solution. Pay us, and we'll protect you from criminals who might break your windows. Get enough stores, and it's nearly $500,000 a year. Other rackets are more like businesses, selling illegal goods like drugs or gambling. With all this racketeering money coming in, the Mafia can't just outright spend this dirty money because the IRS will wonder where it's all coming from, so they'll often set up legitimate businesses to launder that money and wipe off all that excess blood away to make it look legitimate. They'll also get some legal income coming in. So it's a win-win situation. These could be stores, legal casinos in Las Vegas and Atlantic City, and many other fronts. One thing the mob does have in common with regular businesses is money. At the end of the day, it's not about honor, respect, loyalty, God, all that other stuff you see in the Godfather films. A Mafia family, the only God you worship is the holy dollar, and this is where you come in. If you want to be a mafioso and command all the status that you so desperately crave, you have to know your place in the organization. Your one and only duty is to help make the family money, more specifically to make the head of the family, the boss or the godfather, more cash. That is literally all that matters. And there are 2 ways you can go about doing this. You can be an earner, someone who focuses on making money and giving it to the family, while of course taking a cut of the money you earn. Or you can be a killer. After all, being that the Mafia operates outside of the law, they're going to need someone to enforce their rules and contracts to make sure they get their money. So if you're a very astute, emotionless killer, this role would be perfect for you. And you can get paid very handsomely. The average person who joins the mob will typically specialize in one of these 2 areas. Really good at making money or really good at murder. So pick your poison. But if you happen to be one of those rare breeds as great at both and vicious at the negotiating table and behind the gun, well, you have the potential for a very successful career. You may even have what it takes to someday be a godfather. Once you have an idea of what career path to take, it's time to start climbing the ranks. The mob has a well-defined hierarchy. At the bottom are associates, the entry point for aspiring criminals. Think of it as an internship. You're not yet part of the family, but you do the grunt work for made men. It's not glamorous, but it's your chance to prove your worth. The goal is to become a made man. This means you're officially initiated into the life, commanding respect, status, and fear. You're considered untouchable. If someone so much as embarrasses you, your mafia brothers will take care of it. This is what you're working towards. The biggest rule, never to be broken, is omertà, the code of silence. This made the mob seem untouchable, as no one would talk to authorities. To avoid incriminating themselves, members never used the word mafia. They referred to their organization only as la Cosa Nostra, or our thing in Italian. This is how good they wore, as staying in the shadows. Around that time, the producer of The Godfather came to visit Joe Colombo. He sent for him, and Joey actually looked at the script of The Godfather. Back then, he took any reference to the word mafia. He pulled it out of the script to become an associate as a teenager. It's pretty simple. The mob loves grooming kids from the streets when they're young. They'll start giving you very small jobs here and there. And if they like you, they'll start giving you more and more responsibility to be an associate as an adult. It's a little bit trickier, it's harder to trust you as a grown adult, and for the most part, it's better to demonstrate your value and how you can make the money and let them approach you. Take Joe Pistone's case. He was an undercover FBI agent posing as Donnie Brasco, a supposed jewel thief, and to become an associate, he had to hang out at the bars and restaurants the mob members visited to develop relationships for a whole 6 months before he got to work for the family. You don't walk into a mafia place and say, hey, I'm Donnie Brasco, jewel thief, I like to start doing business with, yeah. Once you do become an associate, it's game time. Start making money for love. Show them how ambitious you are, but not too ambitious to where you're threatening people's egos. Another thing to keep in mind is that the law favors bloodlines. You don't have to be fully Italian to be an associate, but for the most part you'll never be able to become a main man if you're not fully Italian or if you're connected to the law. And as you gain their trust, as you prove yourself as an earner or a killer, as you show them that you're an asset that they need in the family, it's time to become a main man. But first we have to get our hands a little bloody again. The biggest vulnerability for a crime organization are its people. So even if an associate has proven themselves to the family, you need some leverage on them to make sure they stay committed for life. This is where making your bones come in before you become a made man. One requirement is that you have to be sponsored by an existing main man. Another requirement is that you carry out a hit, that you take the life of another human being in the name of the family. To become a made man, you first have to commit a murder. This proves your loyalty and gives the family leverage over you. Once you've pulled the trigger, it's time for your initiation. You'll be taken to a secret location, a room full of mobsters. The boss will have you prick your finger and drip blood onto a picture of a saint. As the card burns, you'll swear your allegiance. May my soul burn in hell if I betray this oath. You're now a soldier. As a member, your duty is to make money for the family through a strict chain of command. Crews of soldiers are led by a captain, or capo. They all take orders from the underboss, the family's COO. And at the top is the boss, or Don, the CEO with the final say. This structure provides more than organization, it's insulation. The few at the top are protected from the day-to-day crimes of those at the bottom, making them untouchable. All the crews run the rackets of the family, and as the money is made, it flows up the chain of command. Whoever made the money, let's say it's an associate, takes their cut. The associate passes the money up to the soldiers and the capital of the crew. They get their cut, and then it's passed out to be split between the underboss boss and the advisor. So, you know how the business of the mum works. How they make money from rackets and legitimate businesses. Your role in the mafia, the company's culture, the code of omertà, what they're looking for, how it's structured for insulation, and how to move up the ranks. So now it's time to get out there, start working towards becoming a man, and being everything that your parents warrants. And who knows, maybe one day you'll even be a godfather, open up your Joshi Bola. If you want more Mafia videos like this, let me know in the comments and subscribe, because I make video essays like this every single week. You can also support the channel by joining our Mafia-themed Patreon or community Discord with the links below. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Jake, and I'll see you in the next one.